It's 2023. The University of Michigan football team is ranked number 2 in the country. They're back-to-back Big Ten champions. They've got more money than U.S. Steel. They just put in massive new scoreboards with great video screens at Michigan Stadium. But Michigan still does not have Wi-Fi. The Michigan Football Report is presented by Manscaped. Get free shipping and 20% off your purchase, the best male grooming products in the game. We'll go back to that Wi-Fi photo, Jack. Here, give you my thoughts on the Michigan Football Stadium Wi-Fi situation. But I want to remind you guys, we are presented by Manscaped. I use Manscaped. Check out this beard. You see that? You see how good I'm looking there? That is with the Manscaped new beard hedger. I absolutely love it. Manscaped.com. Down in the comments description of today's video. We'll put it in the live chat as well. Get going with Manscaped. Get 20% off. Use promo code GOBLUE at manscaped.com. Hey, Michigan, it's 2023. You've had back-to-back Big Ten championships. You beat Ohio State again 2 straight years, okay? You've got one of the highest profile coaches in all of college football. You're ranked number 2 in the polls. You're Big Ten favorites. You just spent millions on new scoreboards and new video screens. You got the biggest stadium in America, 114,000, 115,000 strong for the biggest games. You got 8 home games this year. It's 2023. I want to emphasize it again. It is 2023, and you cannot get Wi-Fi in Michigan Stadium. You can't even, maybe that's not the problem as much, as you can't get cell signal with any single carrier. AT&T, Verizon, Mint Mobile, T-Mobile, Sprint, Western Wireless, Cellular Central of America, whatever it is, you can't get a signal in there, but it's not just the stadium. I learned this the hard way last year. The Hawaii game night game was delayed about 90 minutes. I was supposed to meet up with one of our viewers, actually. He's going to go to his house, have some beers while we had a night game delay with rain. I couldn't check my phone to get the damn address. And then I got it. My maps weren't working. I couldn't get signal at all. Then you get in the stadium. You don't know what's going on in the world, okay? You're in a 4-hour polar vortex. I know some of you guys are saying, oh, we should be paying attention to the game. That's great. I want to pay attention to the game, and I do, and I would, but Michigan doesn't give any information. If I'm at a Michigan football game as a fan and a player, let's say Blake Corum's not in the game for a couple of series, I want to know why at the game. And you can't do that at the game. They're never going to announce it over the stadium. So how are you going to find out what's going on? You're making the viewing experience worse. Not to mention, I might want to text my friends, did you see that touchdown? I might want to be on social media. I might have a conversation. This is unacceptable at this point. I talked to some people, Stanford, Florida, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Ohio State. All these stadiums have Wi-Fi. It works. Dallas Cowboys Stadium, right? You go to that stadium. You can use Wi-Fi. It works. It's $8 million a school paid a couple years ago, blanket their entire stadium in Wi-Fi. It was so bad last year, before the Hawaii game, Michigan said, or before the season opener, Michigan said, hey, we've gone ticketless this year. Just use your phone to get into the game. They had to send an email before the second game, the night game against Hawaii. Please don't rely on cell signal or stadium Wi-Fi to get your tickets. Make sure you've got your tickets downloaded and screenshotted and stored in your phone before you enter Ann Arbor, because it's a cellular vortex around there. You could go right now to a hostel in Ukraine, spend the night, you get better cell coverage, better Wi-Fi than you can at Michigan Stadium. It's an absolute abomination. I can't stand it. I'm sick of it. It's making me not want to go to games. I want to take photos. I want to talk to people. I want to be in my Michigan football group chat. I want to be on Twitter to know what people are seeing on TV. And Michigan, the leaders and best, get some damn Wi-Fi. This is the third time I've put this message out. I think fourth time. I think I did in 2022, although I couldn't track that one down. Absolutely unacceptable. If you're with me on this battle for the 5th season, right? We didn't do it in 2020 because no fans. Comment Wi-Fi. If Michigan doesn't have Wi-Fi soon, I'm telling you, I'm going to lose my mind, Jack. I might be ready to lose my mind. I'm going to go to the stadium. I'm going to cause an uproar. I'm going to chain myself to Santa Ono's desk. I'm going to do something crazy. Comment Wi-Fi if you're with me and you think it's unacceptable that the leaders and best, the biggest stadium in college football, the team that's got the most wins, going up 1,000 wins, does not yet have damn Wi-Fi. Hell, just toss a cell on wheels truck out there so get some cell service if you don't do Wi-Fi. Do something. I'm sick of it. It's absolutely unacceptable. If you want to watch my 2019 and 2020 rants, watch the end of this video. If you're watching live, we won't put it and bore you. But if you're watching on demand, we're going to put this up over the weekend. Go ahead and scroll to the end of the video if you want at some point. You can watch the 2-minute rant, 3-minute rant from 2019, and about the 1.5-minute rant from 2021 on Michigan Stadium Wi-Fi. All right, before we take your questions, I want to ask you this Michigan football, college football trivia question. What are the 5 schools that have a U.S. president, right? graduated, became U.S. president, and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. The 5 American schools that have produced a U.S. president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I'll give you that answer in a little bit. Let's see if you can answer it first in the comments or in the live chat. Give me those 5 schools. Coming from our Facebook page, Eric Sloan, he has a question. Which player is going to have the biggest impact or influence on the offense and defense to see just how far this team can go? He gives me a Go Blue, a Bosa, and a Yoder. Appreciate that question, Eric. I'm going to answer that question in the second. We got some breaking news in my ear, and that's from Manscaped. Today's presenting sponsor, Manscaped, has launched a beard hedger. All bearded gentlemen out there, Manscaped has launched a beard hedger, and I absolutely love it. Manscaped's beard grooming kit. Are you tired of using multiple products to maintain your beard? Look no further than the luxury Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped. This complete beard maintenance kit has everything you need for the modern man on the go. From trimming to treatment, this kit has it all. It's got the beard hedger, the AC adapter, the USB-C cable, beard shampoo, conditioner, oil, balm, and a travel bag. Plus, as a special bonus, you receive a free beard accessory pack with a beard brush, comb, and beard scissors. It was designed with a unique cutting angle to have its built-in comb lift flat-lying hairs for a smooth single stroke. For a limited time, you can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code GoBlue. That's manscaped.com. Use promo code GoBlue, 20% off and free shipping on any of their amazing products. This is the one that I'm using all the time. I absolutely love it. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Get it today. Take your beard game to the next level. If you're watching live, it's in the comments in the live chat, or it's down in the comments and the description of today's video. Back to my guy Eric from our Facebook page. Head over there, facebook.com/HarbaughGoBlue. 70,000 followers strong that we've built up on our Facebook page. Who's a player who can have impact influence on offense and defense? I got 2 in mind, right? Off the top of my head that I think can make a difference. 1, Roman Wilson. If you look back last year, and I think a lot of people who are more analytical when it gets to the nitty-gritty, they appreciate, we do a segment every week, Wednesday, Thursday, just showing you the snap counts, what players played, how many snaps on offense and defense. And I was surprised, like the first 10 games of the year last year, Andrew Anthony, who was a deep second stringer, was taking more snaps than starting wide receiver, slot wide receiver Roman Wilson, right? They'd only put Roman in for like 25, 24, 31 snaps a game. And he wasn't getting enough action, I didn't think, in this offense. He'd always be the first wide receiver out, that 3 wide receiver set. If they went down to 2, Cornelius Johnson and Ronnie Bell would stay in the game. I think if Michigan could develop a downfield passing game like we saw in the TCU game and allow him to make an impact on special teams, make an impact on bringing the end arounds and the reverses, Roman Wilson can make a big impact on offense. He could be the difference in a national championship team. Also on the other side, defense, how about Derrick Moore? I don't have him as a starter yet, but he reminds me of like a Josh Uche or David Ojabo. Will he get there? Will he develop? Is he mature enough in his second year in this program? If it's not this year, I think he's the guy next year. I've got him back up right now, but I do think on that defensive end position, Michigan's going to rotate 4 guys: Jalen Harrell, Derrick Moore, and Josiah Stewart. And who am I missing? What's his name? We know his name on defensive end. So 4 kind of starters. Derrick Moore, if he can create that massive pass rush like David Ojabo, Aidan Hutchinson, I think Michigan could be national champions. Fred Fields coming in with the next question. He says, how many times will Diamond touch the ball every game? Whoa, what did I do there? I just messed up. It's the only question I have. Okay, good question, Fred. I was reading from my doc. It's on the screen right there too. I think this year could be the year of the Don for Michigan and in college football. I stayed up last night, Jack, on Tuesday night. I watched all 4 episodes of Swamp Kings. Turned it on at like 10 o'clock. I stayed up till almost 2 in the morning. I was like, I'm just going to watch it. Percy Harvin got me excited about Donovan Edwards, okay? Tim Tebow got me excited about J.J. McCarthy. And I think if Michigan uses Donovan Edwards, he could be like a Percy Harvin of Florida or a Reggie Bush, although Bush became more of a true running back in his final season. But I think Donovan Edwards must get starter level snap count, 12-plus carries, 3 to 6 targets through the air in this 2023 season. His stats last year, only 200 yards through the air. He had 175, if you guys remember, in one game as a true freshman against Maryland. So I think those receiving yards, they should be up there 600, 700, 800 yards a game. I think there's a chance, a very long chance, but a chance he could be a 1,000 college football player receiving and rushing. Although I don't think that's likely, but if he were to be the prime focus, there's no doubt in my mind that Donovan Edwards can break off multiple 200 yards receiving game, right? He did 175 as a true freshman, right? Just Michigan makes that a big part of the game. He comes out of the backfield, takes one for 75 yards, takes one for 60 yards. Boom, right there, you're at 130 in a single game. This could be the year, Don. My only concern with Michigan now, can they use the talent at their disposal the right way to put up the right amount of points and be prepared against the right teams? LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, Clemson, Ohio State. I don't think they're going to need to do all that to win the first 8, 10, 9 games of the year. Maybe Penn State on the road could be a challenge. NC Castle from our Facebook says, obviously we are loaded on both sides of the ball this year. However, what is the biggest concern for Michigan football this year? Everyone is talking about all the strengths, but what about the weaknesses? And what are we not talking about and could be overlooking? Let me get back to that question in a second, but I want to ask you this one. Will Michigan win over 10.5 games this year? Regular season games, 12 games. Let me know what you guys think. That is the Vegas line right now on over-under win totals. It's up there with Georgia. I think Georgia might actually be 11, which means to win it, you got to have an undefeated season. Or if they win 11, you will push bet. You get your money back. Let me know what you guys think. Just type over or under in the comments or the live chat. I think it's an over. Right? I don't see Michigan losing 2 games, but we go back to seasons like 99, not really, but 2005, 2007, some other seasons out there, 2019 maybe, that Michigan was ranked very high and had underwhelming seasons. All right, back to this question. There are some concerns about this team. Michigan as a program, what are the things that we're not talking about but that we'll be overlooking? This is my biggest concern. Is that Michigan's proven they can win the Big Ten. After a disastrous 2-4 season in 2020, they're the only team in college football history to have a 10-win improvement in a season, right? Went from 2 wins in 2020 to 12 in 2021, beat Ohio State. The concern is, can they win a playoff game? I just don't know what to say about the postseason performance from Jim Harbaugh. Does that layoff take him out of his element? I don't know. I can't explain it. The TCU game was just inexplicable. How do you have such a dominant offense all year? How do you out-talent TCU at almost every single position? You give up 51 points. You're down 18 points in the second half multiple times. You give up crucial, long, 60, 70-yard touchdowns at the most critical points of the game when you had all the momentum. You throw multiple pick sixes. This team just didn't come with a focused mindset. I'm not going to blame Georgia for them, although I don't know what the mindset was in that game. They didn't look like they came to play. But Michigan's got to get a win. I think this season, you can drop a regular season game. If you make the playoff, you got to get a win in the playoffs. You just got to break through that next part of that progression as a program. You've got to get a win in the playoffs this year. Will Jim return to coach next year? If not, how will that affect the 2024 recruiting class? Good question. If you guys have been living on a rock for the last couple days, cool, no big deal. We'll tell you what happened. It was put out there 2 weeks ago that Jim Harbaugh is not going to be suspended. The NCAA and him have broken off talks. Then Michigan kind of jumped ahead and said, you know what? We're going to just assess our own suspension, assume that the NCAA is going to accept that. Don't have to worry about it after this season. Don't have to have speculation go on and on. So Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, Ward Manuel, they put in a 3-game self-imposed suspension. So he's not going to be there for the first 3 games. UNLV, which we'll have a live watch party for here on the channel. East Carolina. Then UNLV. Then Bowling Green, which is a night game, actually, Jack. I don't know if you knew that one, on September 16th. So he'll be back against Rutgers on the 23rd, and then they'll head to the road on Nebraska. I think it's the right move, right? I said this a couple times this week, but this is the right move for 2023 and the future. They don't need Jim Harbaugh those first 3 games. Next year, they got Texas in the second game. They need him next year. They're losing 16, 17, 18 stars. They need Jim Harbaugh next year. Might be losing 2 coordinators, right? Both those guys could be candidates for better jobs, head coach, defensive coordinator in the NFL. I think it was the right move to do this right now. It makes me feel like Jim Harbaugh is planning on returning, because if he knew he was leaving, if he thought it was an NFL job lined up for him, he would push this off. And that's kind of why I was thinking, well, why is he pushing this off? They need him next year, right? He's got to be absolutely focused next year, or this could be a 7-5 team if the right coaching mindset and offseason strategy isn't implemented. Make it way into 2024. It just didn't make sense to me. So I'm glad Michigan put their kind of heads together, came up with a solution that I think will end this situation. Although, the NCAA could come and say, well, Jim, we didn't think 3 games was enough. We still want you to spend you 2 or 3 games next year. Although I doubt that would happen. The question though was on recruiting. If Jim Harbaugh leaves, anything's, who the hell knows what's going to happen, right? It's tough to say. You've had coaches quit or, leave for a different job, and their recruiting gets better, right? Because the assistant coaches one of the assistant coaches who was doing a lot of the recruiting, he gets the head coaching job. So it's like a rallying cry. You've seen other schools where it's fallen apart. But right now, I think the one thing I want to talk about recruiting is that it needs to regain some momentum. Michigan was everywhere with recruiting in March, Jaden Davis, in April, in May, and then the last 2-3 months, they've lost a couple of recruits in the last last month or so, and they've missed out. I don't know if the Smith brothers have both committed. Now they're looking at Kentucky. I don't know if they've lost them yet. But there's been 3 or 4 decisions that have been announced, or Michigan's been in the final 2 or final 3 that just haven't gone their way. That number 1 recruiting class back in March, it's now like the number 7 or 8 class, depending on which service that you use. If you guys have yet to do so, make sure you subscribe to the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. We're 26,804 subscribers to the channel, meaning we need 196 more to hit the next 1,000 milestone. So help us get to 27,000 subscribers before the season starts next Saturday. Send a link to a friend if you've already subscribed, youtube.com/Michigan TV. It's in the comments and description and the live chat of today's video. And you watch our live shows. We'll be live every Wednesday. I think the consensus right now, Jack, about 5 o'clock seems to be the winner right now on every poll we've done. So 5 o'clock Eastern Wednesday, join the Hard Hat Club. You will be on the end screen after the season for most of our videos next season, and we'll be giving away these helmets and a T-shirt every single game, Michigan football game. So have your name on here. John Blaze, Josiah Carter, Jeremy Clore, Shane Johnson, Stephen Mers, Bill Graves, Dominic Franchillo, Brad Butchegart, Matt Shook. Appreciate you guys. I'm missing a few others from today's show. Appreciate you guys. So make sure to join our watch our live shows if you haven't yet. If you watch us on demand this weekend, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, that is the time for you. Who do you think will be the Aidan Hutchinson of this year's defense, or will there not be one? I hope there is one. Mike Morris certainly kind of stepped up to the plate as that menacing defensive end last year. Along, who was the guy, I'm forgetting his name, that went to Alabama, a bunch of schools, came to Michigan for 1 year, and then he went to, now he's with Biff Poggi at Charlotte. Regardless, this year I think Derrick Moore is the guy I think has the talent to do so. I think going back to high school, I've heard some maturity and maybe work ethic rumblings. Hopefully he's gotten past that. A lot of kids hit 19, 20 years old, it starts to click for them what they need to do to take their, I'm the best 7th grader, I'm best 10th grader, best 11th grader. I'm the 7th best defensive lineman on this team as a freshman. How do I get to the best on this team, in this conference, in college football? As a professional, I think Derrick Moore needs to take that next step. I think he has the talent to do so, and that's the guy I would think. If he can be a menace on the outside, this Michigan defense, the sky is the limit for him, because I think on the inside, they got the bodies. It's that pass rush on the outside. They really haven't, proven that they can develop. None of the guys coming back this year are really proven. Jalen Harrell returning as a starter, he wasn't necessarily a menace as a pass rusher last year. All right, getting back to that question and answer that I asked at the top of the show, the 5 schools with a U.S. president. They produce a U.S. president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. If you haven't answered yet, we're going to give the live chat 10 more seconds to answer while I do this. Now think about who could it be? Who are the schools most likely to do? Harvard, Yale, Princeton? I don't know. So it's got to be really schools that produce a lot of high quality college football players, but also usually have an academic slant. It's probably not Toledo, right? Probably not Toledo. Arizona State, Jack? I don't know. It's where you at? I don't know. Arizona State? I don't think so. So here are the 5 schools. Michigan. So Tom Brady. Chad Henne also, although he wasn't a starter, but that doesn't count. Just Tom Brady counts. Delaware. That's Joe Flacco. Although I don't know who their president is off the top. Gerald Ford, the president for Michigan. The only president, little presidential trivia, the only president, Jack, Gerald Ford, to never be elected president or vice president. He took over as Nixon's vice president when Nixon's VP was kicked out of office, Spiro Agnew, and then Nixon was resigned a year or so later, and Gerald Ford became president after never winning an election and then lost his re-election bid. So he was in there for a year and a half, 2 years. So that's Michigan, Delaware, Navy, Roger Staubach, and I'm not sure. I'm sure there's quite a few from Navy become president. Stanford, John Elway. And then whoever the president is, we did the thing. How about Miami, Ohio? That's an interesting one. I think like Herbert Coolidge. I know what it is, Jack. You don't have to look it up. I'm playing coy with the people. It's probably like Coolidge or one of these guys from Ohio. Ben Roethlisberger is the quarterback from Miami of Ohio. So there is a little college football trivia. Head out there in the streets, to the bars, the restaurants, impress your friends with that bit of knowledge. All right, if you guys are watching on demand, if you're watching this over the weekend, we're going to put this on the channel. Watch now. Here are my 2 Wi-Fi rants. We'll do 2019 first, Jack, and we'll do 2021. You have both those Wi-Fi rants if you want to have a little laugh kind of based on what we started off today's mailbag show with. If you're watching live right now, we're going to keep it rolling. Till you guys see you next time, the Wi-Fi crew, the on-demand crew, watch the Wi-Fi rants and go blue.
Heading to the game on Saturday. Taking off out of Dallas Fort Worth Airport, flying straight to Detroit, private of course. And I want to rant and rave about what I'm expecting to get when I walk into Michigan Stadium on Saturday, which is 4 hours of my friggin' cell phone not working at all. And it's pissing me off, and this is going to be my thing to hang my head on this year. Michigan football needs to get their heads out of their you-know-what and get Wi-Fi in the stadium. I see people complain about it left and right. Frankly, it's dangerous to society. What happens if something's going on outside the stadium? What happens if his kid gets hurt, sick? You need to be able to contact people. And hell, I'd like to know if I was in the game. If you were at the game on Saturday, would you even know that Runyon wasn't playing? Would you know that Donovan Peoples-Jones wasn't playing? No, because you can't get a damn signal. It's 2019. It's ridiculous. With Jim Harbaugh making $9 million a year, I want to throw out those stats. Let's talk about just recently. Oklahoma got Wi-Fi last year. Notre Dame's had it for 3 seasons now. Stanford, where Jim Harbaugh used to coach, has had it since 4 months after they installed it, April through May of 2011. 4 months after Jim Harbaugh left to take the 49ers job. They've had Wi-Fi for now, 9 seasons, and Michigan football can't get Wi-Fi? Florida, Nebraska, both put it in the last, Florida 2019, they just debuted it, Nebraska 17. The only data I could come up with for actual dollars, it cost Florida $6.3 million to put in Wi-Fi, ubiquitous Wi-Fi across the entire stadium. It cost Nebraska in 2017 $5 million. With Jim Harbaugh making $9 million, I'm just going to put out the question. This isn't me saying it, I'm just asking the question. Does Jim Harbaugh not care about Michigan football fans? Maybe he should sacrifice, maybe he should donate to the Wi-Fi fund. But I know you guys are with me. So comment Wi-Fi below. We're going to get this thing installed in Michigan because I'm sick of acting like it's 1984 Michigan Stadium. It's 2019. Get Wi-Fi in the stadium. And that is the final word from Yoder on this very important subject.
No Wi-Fi at Michigan Stadium again. It is 2020, folks. 2020. That was last year. We missed the season. It's 2021, okay? It's 2021. I personally have been talking about this for 3 years on this show, and still we come into another season with no Wi-Fi at Michigan Stadium. And frankly, Michigan, the football team, the football players, anyone going to the stadium, any alumni, anyone who takes a paycheck from that school, and hell, the decision makers in the athletic department, boosters, regents, etc., get some damn Wi-Fi in the stadium. It is absolutely absurd that you go to a game and you sit there and your phone just spins all day and you can't get any fucking scores from any other game. It's ridiculous. I'm so sick of it. I'm not going to games this year because I'm so sick of going to this fucking stadium and not being able to figure out what's going on in the world. It's unacceptable, okay? Get Wi-Fi, or you're going to hear from me, okay? Believe me, in Michigan, you're going to hear from me. I can't even comprehend. Like, you go to a hostel for $12 a night in Afghanistan right now. They have Wi-Fi, and Michigan Stadium can't have Wi-Fi. It's absolutely absurd. The biggest stadium in the country. You call yourselves the leaders and best. You have no fucking Wi-Fi. If they don't get Wi-Fi by next year, something's going to happen. Believe me, I'm going to just lose my damn mind. Thank you for sticking with me on that rant.